And we should be live. Let me just confirm that. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment. In the meantime, you can grab your snacks and get ready for the stream. You can get ready for the stream. So I'll be back in a moment. Do we have music? It would be cool to have some music in the background. I don't know how much, but like this much should be good. You should still be able to hear my beautiful voice. And boom, we are live. This is my wallpaper. It is completely procedurally generated each time I open my computer. If you want, we can take a look at the code of that. I'll bring the chat just to make sure that I don't miss anything, but I don't think there's anybody logged in at the moment. But I'll just take the chat with me anyway, because just in case. I will try to use the cool retro terminal. Of course, I won't use a version of it that is so unusable. This one looks cool, but who's able to use that? This is way better, you see? Just the color palette is something that I can at least work with. So yes, this is something I can work with. Gee, it's been a while since I haven't done a NeoFetch, so why not do that? NeoFetch. There you go, and my wallpaper just looks amazing on that NeoFetch, by the way. Maybe I could make that a tiled window. CLS, that is not a command on Linux, it is a command on Windows, but it is quicker to type that than typing clear, so I created an aliases. Aliases are amazing. My alias file is on my home directory. Like if I do ls grep alias, it is there. Grep is very useful. Like if you want, for example, to remove a line from a file, you can just cat the content of the file into grep and then do an inverse search for example, alias. This time I will use ls instead, so I will remove the lines containing aliases, and then I can put that back into a file, but don't use the same file, like use a temp file and then move it back. Actually, just that action, the fact that you sometimes need to create a temporary file to replace the original file, like that this takes multiple steps. We could make that more efficient by creating a script that would do that automatically. That could be something interesting, but this is not the topic of today's video. The title does say don't use awk. Do you know what awk is? Let me tell you what awk is. Awk is this tool utility function things that allows you to do stuff. For example, like if I do look at the main page for awk, what it does, it's a pattern scanning and processing language. This is very vague. It's not specific. If you look at the description, Gawk is the GNU project implementation of the awk. So first of all, it's not awk on my system, it's Gawk, but I'm guessing I have like a built-in alias to this application. So it is something that we'll use, if I'm not mistaken, it's called POSIX implementation of... It uses a special kind of language, but I'm just looking for the name. Normal... I forgot the name of the syntax that you need to use to be able to use AUK. But it is complex, okay? It is something that you need to learn. And no, I don't have a single hint to what I'm looking for by looking at the README. But the chat isn't used right now, so I'm just gonna make it, you know, way smaller, because right now it's taking a lot of space for no reason at all. Like, nobody's using the chat at the moment, so why do I have such a big chat? I don't know. So yeah, nobody cares about what language AUK is using. We just know that it's not something that humans can use. Like, can I get AUK example on the internet? Let me just pull up an internet window. Do I have a viewer? I had a viewer. I lost a viewer. I guess programming, that's what it is with programming. You know, I keep doing these videos, but these videos aren't the video that people want to watch the most. People want to watch gaming. They want to watch like stuff that is not live. But this is live. This is like, let's just take a look at AUK example of... I'm gonna get the name of AUK basic example, and it's using a syntax. I don't remember the name of the syntax. It's using by default, prints all the line, match patterns. So you see, this ain't easy to use. This is not like user friendly at all. Printing column by pattern. Like, if I look at SED, for example, like, these programs are outdated. I don't believe that people should still use them. I believe we should just create better programs to do the same task. I'm not saying we should use like GUI programs for this, but just not this. So you look at this, like, what is that? What does it do? Is it clear? Like, when you type it, unless you use it every day, which like people who works in the field maybe do, but like these normal expression, this is not something I feel comfortable using. Like, it's something that, like, yes, if you do have the example, yes, if you have the manual, it's easy to use. But if you don't, like, what happens if I do, for example, said H for help? Like, this is not that clear what I'm supposed to do here. Regex extended again, suppress. Like, what I just want to get the text out of the file. I just want to get a part of some text. You know, that's what it's supposed to do. Let's read the description. That's probably what we're gonna get if we do like man said. Said is a stream editor. A stream editor is used to perform basic text transformation on an input stream. Again, do we need this thing to be that complex and that unusable? I don't believe so. So I'm just gonna get the door. Somebody's ringing at the door and nobody's answering because they can't hear it, so I'll be back. Non, je vais enlever ce matin de l'aspect. Okay, so I wanted to do a demonstration of one of my software, but yeah, I don't have like people watching the stream. I know these streams aren't planned in advance, but yeah, having some visitor passing by, so and I have some tasks that I haven't done. So maybe it wasn't the best time to start a stream. I just felt it was. So if we take a look, I'm just gonna do a quick demonstration of the last program I made. If I go into the bin directory and then I can, I don't know, let's take a look at the line utility. It is a very cool utility. So for example, if I do line and I give it itself or whatever, like I could put some text into test.sh, which is my file for testing stuff. And I'm supposed to have like ls grep lipsum. I'm supposed to have a program called that. I don't remember how to use it though, so do I have help for it? Lines char. Okay, so I want, it's very simple to use, but where do I put the file name where I want to create the lipsum? It will just generate it, I think, in the terminal, so then I can just pipe that into somewhere. So how many lines do we want? 20, and we want, for example, each lines to have 20 character. Is that a lot? Is that enough? 30 character? I don't know. Let's just pipe that to the screen. That's good enough. Actually, I want it to be a bit wider, and then I can pipe that into test.sh. So first of all, this is like a very useful app that you can use for doing testing and stuff. You know, you can generate text like that. That is very cool, very useful. Okay, so that is another. I wanted to start C-matrix, but that is not C-matrix. That is X-matrix, which is another program I made, which allows you to talk to people through the matrix protocol, which is a messaging protocol. Very cool stuff. It is released on my GitHub if you want to see the code, or if you want to use it, there is a release to use it. And if I go into my, I wanted to show you the line utility, which is very cool, like I said. So I have multiple lines here, lines utility, which are probably older version. So I'm just gonna move them because I don't like to have a cluttered bin directory into the line project. So mv line 2, mv line 3 into line project. That way it is. Line.pr should not be there for first of all, like that is not the normal output for the line.pr file, so I'm just gonna delete that line.pr. It has stuff in it, but it doesn't matter. The del utility that I created will get rid of that for me. It doesn't matter if it's a file, if it's a directory, it will get rid of that for me. So that is why I use it. It is quicker than just using rm and stuff. So again, the line utility, what does it do? Why am I so excited by this simple utility? Why? Well, let's just do the h command to get the help for it. And we have like this help message that is automatically generated. I haven't wrote that by myself. When I add function to it, it automatically puts them into the help function. So we know how to use the application. And if we look at the example that we have, we can do, for example, we can take a pipe. It's written here, so we can do something like cat test.sh, and then we can pipe that into the line utility. And let's just do that to see what happens. So it might not be clear what is going on, but what it's doing is just giving you the first line of that file, which, you know, it's quick. If you just want the first line of something, you could use head. I don't remember how many lines it's gonna give you. It is a lot. I don't necessarily want all these lines, so if I want just the first line, I could do that. It is probably the quickest. Now, why am I getting more lines all of a sudden? So let's just do that one more time. So I'm getting only the first line, then I clear CLS, and let's try with head to see if we get something different. So we get way more lines. I was just curious to see the difference. Do we have people watching the stream? No, still no people watching. I have the chat open, so if you join the stream, you can just leave a message in the chat. So it does more. It is way more complex than that. If I look at the line utility, I can just give it the test .sh and it's gonna do nothing. Did you expect that? Probably not. I didn't expect that. I expected to get the first line once again. but that's not what happened. Why? Because when I give it argument like that, I can say, for example, give me the first line. Then I can say, give me the second line. It's not the same line, you can see. It might be confusing at the moment, but I'll add flags later and you'll see like it's gonna get clearer what it's doing. So you can, if I give it, for example, from line 1 to 2, I'm getting the 2 first lines, which is very cool, very useful, very simple to use. So you give it a file, you give it a range of lines. Very intuitive. That is what it needed to be. But you don't have to use it that way. You can do something crazy like, oh, let's reverse the range. Same output as before. Like if I inverse it, you can see it is the same exact output. So that's what you want. You simply give it a range. Doesn't matter the order of the number you give it. And does it matter like if I put the file, let's say after it, it will still work. So it doesn't matter the order. It's just gonna figure stuff out, and that's how it should work. You know, you don't have to think about what you're doing. You just know you want to give it 2 value. This is your range, this is your file, and it's gonna figure it out. So this is a basic use case of the line utility. This is what makes it amazing, because already very simple to use, very powerful. Now let's add flags. Let's try to add flags. Maybe it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna try something and see if it works. Same process as before, but now it doesn't work. Why? Because when you use flags, everything needs to have a flag. So for example, the file needs to have a flag, and then if you want to just, let's go with that, it at least one argument must be an integer and one must be a string. So you need to give it a value when you use flag. So it's easy. I can just give it like a starting value of 1, and we go back to the first thing, but notice we have like a number in front of it. It might be hard to see since I'm using the cool retro terminal, but there is the number 1 in front of our line to give it our line number. This is because I added the end flag, but I can remove that if we don't want it. And now we just get the first line. It's a lot of step to go back to what we were doing before, but now that we are using flags, we can do crazy stuff with it. So we actually have another flag for the end line. So we have the starting line and the finish line, call it whatever, the last line, first line, and but it's S and E for, you know, start line, end line. Maybe E isn't the most intuitive letter. I've choose to use like maybe first and last. F and L would make more sense, but I already used the F flag for the test.sh, and this is why I haven't used it there. So far nothing crazy. So let's do something a bit like crazy, but first let's make it more clear what we are doing. So we want to get number in front of each line. So from line 1 to 2 we have 2 numbers, 1 and 2. Okay, now we can give it maybe a different color to the numbering, because it's not very clear in that terminal what's going on. Is that more clear? Not really. Is that more clear? Not really. We are looking for the combination which will be the clear. Or you can give it, I think you can give it the number 1. But in that terminal, honestly, all the color looks the same. They all look unclear, to me at least. So I'm a bit unsure about like how to show this to you in this terminal. So let's go back to our normal terminal, which is just a bit clearer, and go back in our bin directory and try to do these comments that we were doing. I'm just gonna copy them so that I don't have to. Oh, I cannot copy them that way, so I'm just gonna try to copy it this way. There you go. So now we're gonna leave the cool retro terminal. Even if it looks cool, it's not very practical to use. So let's try this comment. And as you can see, like, we have the line number, and by default, if I don't give it a value, this is the default color for the numbers. And if you want to change the color of that, you can with the C comment, like I mentioned earlier. So if you give it 1, there is no color. And this is good because you might not want to have the escape code in your output. And if you give it, for example, number 2 for the color, you can put it to green, and you can give it like various color up to 7, which is just white. It just inverts the lettering color. So now that we have that, like, we can just give it a color, we have the number, and we print line, for example, 1 to 5, or let's be crazy, 2 to 5. It's still gonna work. Let's clear the screen for it to be clearer. 2 to 5, and we have each lines displayed. So what happened if I want to do something crazy? Let's reverse the order of the letter. So now it's from 5 to 2. Crazy, I know. And now I can do something even more crazy. I could invert the order. What is gonna be inverted? Let's try it and let's figure it out. So now we only get the fifth line. Why is that? Let's just remove the reverse. Let's try with only the I argument. Is it more clear? No, we only have 2. So first it was the last argument, now it's the first argument. It's not really clear what is going on. So let's just do line H to get more information about that. So I for invert the line selection. Maybe now it makes more sense. You understand? Instead of giving us from 2 to 5, it's supposed to give us the remaining lines. But it doesn't really make sense because it's giving us, like, that might be a bug in my program. I don't know what could be causing this bug. But if I remove the numbering, maybe it will be more clear. Like, we have this line right here. So if we go, we are supposed to remove the line 2 to 5. So how many lines do we have left in our test.sh? So this is the first line. So of course we are not including it since we are starting from 2 to 5. But then we have lines after that should be included. So basically what we want to do is just remove from this line to, well, it's not really obvious if I do it like that, but from this line to this line needs to be removed. So I'll work on that. There is still some bugs to fix. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it is a very powerful utility. You can like give it a file, you can take argument from a pipe, show the number, give it starting line, ending line, reverse them, invert the selection, and between all of these options you got a lot of power, I feel. So this is the line utility. This is the state it's in at the moment. I feel like there is more I could show you with this because it is a very flexible tool, but you'll have to test it out, figure it out, what are the combination of flags. It's a simple tool that you can do complex stuff with it. That was what I had in mind. Simple tool, complex result. And now if I take a look, for example, at the other project I've been working on, which is the Arandel Game, it's gonna have, yes, I know I'm working on multiplayer. Yes, there might be multiplayer in this game. So I'm using in the Arandel my evil script, which is a version of it, at least it's on GitHub, but the full version is still on my local computer. The evil script is this. It's a UI, CLI UI utility that allows you to create a menu, and let's not give it a name, and it allows you to display these dialog boxes, and that's what it does. So let's go back. That is cool. That is for the more GUI part of the game, the menu, the story, and all that boring stuff. But the cool stuff people like is movement, and I was inspired by a project I found online of a guy who made a game using like 9x9, and so I created this map, this 9x9 map in ASCII, and if you quit, it saves where you left. So if you go back in the game, you are still at the same place. The map is still the same, so it is permanent map generation. I really like how the map generation is done, and the way I made the save file, you can actually save a lot of stuff in there. You can save like your item and other cool stuff. Like this is very small, maybe it's too small to see on the right now on the video, but it is small. This is like a good reflection of how small it actually gonna be unless you zoom in, and you can do that with my terminal, but it's the same shortcut to start and stop the recording, so I'm not gonna make that bigger. Also, I choose these characters specifically for the mountain and the ground because they are quick to draw. Like some characters in ASCII are characters that takes more time to draw on screen, and these are efficient character, so they can be drawn quickly, and it almost looked 3D to me, at least when I look at this quick and I move and I play this. it almost looks 3D. So I'm gonna add other stuff like enemies. I already started implementing this, how it's gonna work. You're gonna have crafting. You're gonna have stuff. Like most games do have that content. And this is pretty much all the stuff I've been working on. And that's not all. I have a website, and it might not be for you. It's not for everyone, but I do have. It's not called Amazon.com. It's called if I can just write it correctly, amosnimas.com, and this is the website. And you have like blogs and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff about politics, freedom, and philosophy and sociology, because these topics are topics that I don't necessarily like, but sometimes they're important to talk about. Like when you have to talk about these stuff, it's probably for an important reason. At least that's the way I see it. And I don't want people to feel like there's topics that they like. I don't want our society to become like the Orwellian 1984 fiction book. I don't want that to become our reality. And this is why we don't want to create taboo in our society, and we should have the freedom to express not only opinions, but sometimes just verifiable facts that are views. And if we keep doing that, if we keep sharing, arguing, like, you don't have to agree with stuff that I believe, you don't have to agree with stuff that I think is true or objective or whatever, but we can debate it. And I prefer that than just shutting down the argument. I do prefer people to argue with me than to just be triggered by what I talk about. And if it's not for you, just don't go on the blog. If you're afraid of this blog with information in it actually, I said the information, but I avoided that. I went the opposite route. There is two routes to when it comes to giving people information. You can just give them the scientific approach, where you give them your source. For everything you say, you give them a source that they can go to see the factuality of what you're talking about. And there is the other approach, which is just to give opinions, to present stories. And this is what it is. This is just, it's not a scientific website. It doesn't try to be. It doesn't remove credibility from this website. It just means that it's not that kind of site. It's not, if you want scientific data that can be biased, go on those sites that provide that. But this site is more opinionated. It's more like, this is society as I see it, and this is the path that I think we might be taking, and it might be a slippery slope or not. And this is why there is some concern or not that we could have about that. Like, for example, threat to privacy, and why it's important to defend that. And there might be risk to defending privacy to an extent. So there is always like this fine balance of arguments. And a lot of awful thing can be done for good cause, for good reasons that are given. And sometimes when you look at law, for example, they are so complex, and the way that they are presented can be sometimes misrepresented or unclear to the populace as to what the actual law is going to do. For example, there was the blue sky, I think it was called, or clear sky law that was passing in the US at some point. And it was to allow a company to pollute the sky more. But because it was called clear sky, nobody wanted to go against clear sky. So people asked on the street would say that they support it because they didn't understand what it actually meant. I think a lot of laws are like that. Like, they're not necessarily made to be obvious as to what they actually imply. And there's a lot of stuff like in there. Like, if you just look at this one, it's just an opinion I had someday about the lottery. Like, that was just something that came to my mind, and I shared that. And I did not feel the pressure of Facebook. I did not feel the censorship of these big social media platforms. This is my platform. This is where I post my stuff. And if you don't like it, like, this is my land. I do whatever I want with it, unless it's like, I wouldn't do something illegal, but as long as it's legal, this is my land. I'm not gonna be censored on my territory, my internet territory. And this is what a website is. It is an internet domain. It says it in the name. It's a domain. It is your domain. You do whatever you want with it. And it was fun to code this website, to do the CSS for it, to make it look like this almost conspiratorial pinboard of conspiracies, because I do like good conspiracies. Like, I don't like the mythological conspiracies that are like crazy stuff. There is a nuance. There is a lot of conspiracies that were actually true, and I don't like that the conspiracy theory stuff became like a slur, like a way to insult people, to try to undermine their point and argument. I think people can talk about this stuff without being crazy cuckoos. I think like if you look at some past event like the MK Ultra project, or even the Snowden file event that happened, these things happened. These things were factual, have been proven, have been like, this is undeniable. So conspiracies do happen sometimes. And if the general consensus is that if it's called a conspiracy, it is a lie, it is false, it cannot be true, and the government cannot do any wrongs, and no government can be wrong, and like, it is a bubble of like, and you create yourself a bubble with these social media. You can do that. You can like censor every information which you don't like, and that is a very dangerous, slippery slope. And this is why I wish we could go back to this era of freedom of Far West that we had online, where everybody had their own land, their own website. Let's go back to the Far West. It was cool, it was fun, every site was unique. Look at the difference between all these YouTube sites now. Compare that to when YouTube started. You could customize your page, you could put CSS on your page. Every YouTube page was unique and different. Most of them were ugly because people don't know how to design a beautiful page like I do, because this is a beautiful page, I believe. I do like the texture in the background, I do like the aesthetics of this site, and I worked hard on it. And if you look, I even have ads to my own stuff, my own content. So if you click on there, you're gonna be brought to the Arandel TTRPG books, which you might like. You could try it. It is probably one of the cheapest TTRPG book to start. It has the player guide and the dungeon master guide, and it is right there. And I also have my itch.io page, my YouTube channel, and my GitHub. So it's all there, but is it in your face? No, it's there if you look for it, like other projects. There they are. And then you have like the blog. The main page, what is it? It's like a bunch of stuff. I just didn't want to put the effort into turning into their own article, like just stuff I found interesting. I don't have the time to like do more research into them, but that might be interesting. Like this was my equivalent of posting shit on Facebook. Instead of posting these random stuff on Facebook, I would just put them on the main page. You have the Freedom blog, of course, we already saw that one. Then we have the Freedom feed, which is again the same idea. Instead of posting to Facebook, I would post here for smaller stuff. But again, I like the Freedom feed. It is cool. It is a cool format, but it does take more time than just throwing stuff on an HTML page. I did create tools to generate these blogs though. So these posts are generated with a bash script, so I don't have to each time write the whole post with the format, having the date, having the title, having like each of these stuff. This disappeared, and this is scary. This is very scary when you see this. This is not good, that these images aren't there anymore, because this was a link that would go directly to the Canadian Government of Canada website. This was not conspiracy stuff that is hidden and hard to find. This was the official Government of Canada website. And if you just read this very quickly, this was policies that tried to reshape the future. This is not the conspiracy theorists against the government from like this is not coming from a shady post. This is from the exact Canadian government website. And what is it saying? It's saying that it's about gene editing and a bunch of stuff. So I'm not gonna read the whole article, but honestly, if the Horizon policy, Horizon Canada, was a very scary page, I don't even know if it still exists. What is on that page nowadays? They changed some of the image, maybe because they were scary and dystopian. They changed some of their posts, maybe because they were scary and dystopians. They deleted some of their posts because they were so scary and dystopian. So this is from Government of Canada. This is not, I'm not making this shit up. But it's sad because you see there was a link to a picture and it's gone. This is censorship. This is the Canadian government will sometimes say stuff that is very crazy, very bad, and then it will just erase that from history and nobody can know about it unless you use maybe the Internet Archive, which I might be tempted to do. But the way the Internet Archive works, if you don't back up the link, it's not gonna be there if nobody takes the time. So Internet Archive, let's try to find that link. Can we give it a link? Like, I want a Wayback Machine. This is what I'm looking for. And if this disappear, like when governments do stuff like that, they say something, they regret, they remove it, there's no way to prove that they ever said such things. You are the one who sounds crazy. But if you have access to the Wayback Machine, you can just go back 2023 and maybe prove that you weren't crazy. So let's take a look at this link right here. Can we find it? Can we find what we are looking for? I don't know. I'm not used to using the Wayback Machine that much, but we should be able to find the page that we're looking for. This is what the website looked back then, but let's look at, I have the date so we can be even more specific. 2022. Let's go back into the past. We go back to 2022. So January, so this would be into January. Let's go back 22. Let's go back even more. So here we have 2022, and we are looking at 2, 3, 4, 5. So it might be May 30. There it's a big one. Like, there is a lot of people that decided to back this page that day. Like, they thought there was something maybe interesting on that page that specific day, that they wanted to make sure it would be saved, which is a good hint that we might have found what we are looking for, or not. I think I just gave it the foresight on COVID, possible shift and whatever. I think they just removed all their scary stuff, like future week, the future of value, blah blah blah. But it's not the page. It doesn't have our image. So does it? Does it have our image? No, it does not. Can I give it just the link of the image? Copy the image link and get like directly brought to where that image is coming from, like this image right there. So that was one of the image. Can I make it bigger? And I hope, like, it's not pulling it from my website. So that was one of the image. It does look cool. So like, why did you remove that? Can I just get the post? I don't want the image. I want like the post. Can I get it? Uploads. No, I can't, because okay, so I cannot get the post from the image. But let's take a look at this image that no longer exists, and I should probably just remove these. I don't think it was the same image. I don't think I would have used the same image twice with different names, so it was probably a scarier image even then. So it's hard to believe, I know. Bio whatever, 10 pictures. We have more than one picture. Oh, now it's getting interesting. So we have more pictures, but not here. We have pictures here, 2020, 2021, 2022. How many pictures do we have? We have this image probably. Let's take a look at it. It's probably a nice picture. I don't like, this is research. I don't know what I'm gonna get. This is how you get information that people don't have access to. No, most people don't take the time to do that kind of stuff. It's the same image. It's the exact same image. I'm a bit disappointed there. So yeah, I think we're just gonna get the same image all over and over. Okay, so that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the blog associated to this image. And that might be hard because I expected this site, since it's a government website, to keep their article online, and I was wrong. I should probably have saved a copy of their blog, but I did not expect them to delete them, and I was wrong. So May, let's go take a look at May. What is going on? We have snapshots there of that page, and if I take a look at what's on that page, there is 130 captured done that day. About us on our work resource blog. Search. I guess it has something to do with Biodigital Convergence, I'm guessing, since this is literally the name of the image that I gave to the image, so probably it has something to do with that. How about that? Can I search on a website that is no longer online? That is, I wonder. Biodigital Convergence. It is a scary title. If I came up with that, I am a genius. See, they have some pretty crazy images. That's not the image I put on my site. Mine was cooler. But you see this. What is the Biodigital Convergence? It says scary stuff, I'm telling you. And they removed that from their site. Shift and implication, you know, you should go see that. But even on the Wayback Machine, I feel like stuff is missing, and that is not how things should work. The future values, blah blah blah. Oh, this was removed, not accessible, not on the Wayback Machine. Oh, but I cannot save everything. I understand that for sure. Let's take a look at this blog post. You know, I don't want to give opinions. I'm just taking a look at the government website. I don't think there is nothing wrong with that. I think people should probably care more about what their government is doing in the background, because I have an article on that. You should probably read it. It's on the concept of true democracy. Are we living in a true democracy? What would be a true democracy? What would it look like? How would we put that in place? There is a lot of information on my blog on that. And if I just search for democracy, fake democracy, there it is. And you got it all here. And you even have a PDF. So if you click on the PDF, you have it. You can download it. You can print it. You can do whatever you want with it. It is not a manifesto. It is open source in some sense. It is a PDF. So not really, but you know. So that's interesting. If you have the time to go back on this website, not the present one, but the one from around the COVID era, and take a look at what is said and what are the blog posts that they are writing. I think the government has the skills to create stuff that is definitely interesting around that time. They had certainly a lot of trust into future. Like if you like, even here, explore teams, 3D printing, who cares? Accessibility, who cares? Artificial intelligence, that is scary. Talk to me about that. Asia, why is Asia there? What is like Canada? You go on the Canada website and you have like immediately like Asia. Why? Interesting. Like just interesting. I'm not saying anything. Just saying interesting. The future of social connection. Like I don't care about that post. I don't even remember that post unless they changed the image. But I doubt they had the time. So maybe if I go into 2021, maybe we have more scary stuff there. Let's take a look at this. May 9, 2021. And we have pretty much the same post, but less posts actually. So this is before they deleted all their work, our works. Let's take a look at that. This is an interesting website. I did not plan this. I did not plan on taking a look at there. I was talking about how you can use it to sort text, but you know. And is this something useful? The line utility that I will use every day? Of course it is. Of course it is. Like even the evil utility, the menu utility, is something I'm using in my game because it is very useful. I'm using it for all the UIs and menu, and it's working fine. The only thing I had difficulty implementing was the pipe system. The next digital economy, I'm not sure I want that. You know, it's all stuff that did I agree to this? Is that really the future I want to go towards? Economic, like okay, reflection on the potential impact of digital technology on the economy. Well, it's a bit late to worry about that, ain't it? Now that you have like this website on the internet. I think that technology went a bit far for us to start asking ourselves, like, is that good for us as a species? Should we keep getting more technology? We have people like, we had only one view. Okay, maybe the title is not good. Maybe something more controversial. Let's look at old government files. Old deleted government files. Site. Let's look at an old deleted government site. It's not the site, at old posts, I guess. And maybe they haven't deleted them. Maybe they are still there, but at least they deleted my picture, and it was a very cool picture. So why would you have done that? Just because it makes you look evil? Just like the "Don't be evil" slogan of YouTube. Let's take a look. It's too long. Let's exploring. It's way shorter. Exploring an old deleted government posts. Yeah, that's good. I don't see any issue with the title. Why would it? Is it a clickbait? Not really, because it is actually factually what we are kind of doing. And the way to confirm that this is actually factually what we are doing is just to take the page that we are looking at and make sure it still exists. It does, but you see, the problem is that some of the posts that were there aren't. Even on the Wayback Machine, it's like they were deleted from the past. It is very scary when people delete stuff from their history, from the past. And I might sound like the crazy dude who just imagined that this stuff existed, but again, I had links to the image of these posts that aren't there anymore. So where are they? What were these posts? Ask yourself the right questions, you know. But I'm sad because a lot of my image was coming from there. They did make some good images, like Freedom Feed. I think even the image from Freedom Feed was taken from there. It's sad because they had like a good artist. Like, can I just copy image link? Like, give me this image. Does it still exist? No. We couldn't find that webpage. Error. Like, the Government of Canada website right now has this issue a lot. Like, you see this warning a lot on like all their websites and stuff. Like, they are really cleaning their online presence. Like, they are trying to I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm just saying it's weird that links like this just disappear. You know, it was written gene editing. They removed that. Why? You know, that is a question that we should probably ask ourselves. What the Canadian government might be ashamed of concerning gene editing. And during the COVID, during the vaccine, and like, is there a link to it? Like, that you have at the same time Yuval Noah Harari, who's the one of the people at the World Economic Forum, making conference about intelligent design. What does that mean? It means eugenics. What does that mean? It means if they don't like you, you don't get to have kids. What does that mean? It means they target genes they don't want. And oh, there it is. Boom, found the image. It is not from the... It is from the... Like, what? Okay, they just probably moved that article elsewhere. But it was hard to find. CRISPR, what is CRISPR? What is... Talk about me. Explain to me, Government of Canada. What am I looking at right now? This is the picture. Copy image link. And now I need to just go back and put that image back into my website. Thank you, Government of Canada, for just moving all your stuff around. And it's still there. So So it was clickbait, my thumbnail actually, but you know, not really, because it ain't there anymore. Like it is hard to find. Try to find that without the link that I had saved on my website. Hard. And I might want to back this stuff up, but maybe they changed the content of the article if the image has changed URL. If they took the time to go back to that article and modify stuff, maybe they modified stuff. Now, like, it's not that government don't have the right to edit their article to spell check stuff or fact check stuff, but I'm a bit afraid there. I'm just saying, don't want to sound crazy, but I'm not the crazy one. This is just the website of the Government of Canada. And I do like that they do state their resource. Many more genetic disease. It could fix many more genetic disease. Why would there be many more genetic disease? No, I'm not gonna read between the lines. I'm not gonna pretend like they are trying to, create these disease and then sell the remedy. Like that never happened in all human history. It's not like, I'm sure if you look at like pharmaceutical company, they don't make any money from that. They're definitely not one of the largest income in the world. I'm pretty sure. And another stuff that I don't see a lot of people talk about, because I don't know, like, actually I don't even think it's a good idea to talk about it, because my video's probably not gonna get any view if I start talking about that. So I'm just gonna shut the frick up about some stuff. Like YouTube does have an algorithm that looks for keywords, and if you say some stuff they don't want you to talk about, maybe it's not gonna show it to people, you know? So let's keep it generalized. So at least I found this, that thing. But World Economic Forum is a lot intertwined with the government of Canada's planning of the future of our civilization. So biodigital, they have more content on that. So it's not like, what is the biodivergent convergence? Like, that was the article from earlier, and they have a video. Oh, and it has like the scary intro sound. Are you afraid yet? Are you afraid now? Okay, now we can start the video.
Digital technologies and biological systems are beginning to combine and merge.
I do like all the visual they are using. I think this is a wallpaper though. So yeah, but it still looks cool.
In ways that could
Good
be
choice.
profoundly disruptive to our assumptions about society,
The
the
economy.
and our bodies.
Like, this is still online. Like, I'm pretty sure like this is on their main website. It's just they moved it somewhere else. So they have tags, and I wonder, like, these other ones, we have like gene editing and we have biodigital convergence. So we had like these two. Did I had more article from Horizons, or is that it? Is that all the article I took image from or linked to? Maybe it is. I just know they had like a bunch of cool image at some point. I find it hard. Like this one, it looks cool. Like the first US law targeting biohacking. Like, this is cool stuff. Like, even if I'm not, like, I'm on the side of Government of Canada right now, like, they should keep making stuff that looks cool like that. It does look corporate as frick, but again, when I wanted my website to look more corporate, I would be glad to steal their images, because I'm pretty sure I can. Like, I'm pretty sure this image is under like public license. Like, if it's not an image like from the Creative Commons license, why is it on a government website? Like, who pays the taxes to host this website? I do. I can play with the image. Thank you. It's not like complex logic, you know. What is the, like, they really focus on the biodigital today. Like, biodigital, that is scary. That is biodigital, and tomorrow do we have an article with that? Experimentation toward a biodigital era. Table of content. An unexpected accelerator. How a driver of change, accelerating the transition to biodigital world. that is not reassuring when you force people to take a treatment that does not help prevent the stuff it's supposed to, and that has not been tested properly, and that all the data say it does some pretty bad stuff. And I'm talking about data that was released in court by the corporation that produced the stuff that you're forcing people to get injected with. So yeah, they're talking about it. It's there. So, you know, this is very on topic. This is, I mean, of course there is a link between, like, do you sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist when you say, like, there might be a link between the COVID vaccines and what they call bio what? How do they call it again? Biodigital. Like, we are leaning toward biodigitalism. Is that something you want to hear after getting forced to take an experimental treatment? We're moving toward biodigitalism. That doesn't sound like not Orwellian. It does sound Orwellian. But I do like these images. Please keep making them. Like, do we have more like this? Insect CRISPR, whatever. They had other, like, I want to see more articles like this. Is this in the article? How do I find this? Like, they have dates. Can I go back just to that date and see all that they released that day? If I just edit the URL, do some quick. No, I cannot go there. This is a crime punishable by. No, it's just the page doesn't exist. But it might exist, but I don't have access to it, or they removed it, or who knows. Sometimes I'm kidding, sometimes I'm not. I'll let you figure out when. But this is real. This is a real website that I think not a lot of people know about. I'm not saying like Canada is the worst country. I'm just saying it's the one I live in. So this is why I care about that. 3-way ChatGPT could support strategic foresight. Interesting. You know, like they have to talk about it. I completely agree with that. That government should have a section dedicated to talk about this stuff. We don't want to be like the Chinese guy who was in charge of cybersecurity but did not know what a USB key was. Apparently that happened, and he was in charge of international cybersecurity at that level, you know, internationally. The future of AI, generative AI. Do they mean like to generate like disclaimer? Do we have a disclaimer here? Did they generate that with AI? That is the big question today, folks. So I'm just gonna take that and put that into an AI detecting tool. AI detection tool. I'm gonna, like, if I just scroll in here, I'm probably gonna find other scary image, and if I look at where they come from, I might find other that come from this site. But this image in particular, I really liked it, but I know that there was other similar image, but I found it at the end of the day, so it did exist, so I wasn't, you know, just making stuff up. What was I looking for? AI detection tool. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, and I want to see if they wrote their article about AI using AI. That would be freaking amazing. And I have nobody watching this stream, even though I'm like, what is gonna get people to watch the stream? Even the thumbnail is good, even the title is good, exploring all deleted government posts. Like, I want to click on that. Me personally, I will. Actually, you know what, I'm just gonna maybe take I'm just gonna steal their thumbnail again. I'm just gonna, yeah, of course, yeah, that's what I need to do. I just need to steal their thumbnail again. It was obvious, but so it's Bio Convergence. That again, they have another post on that. They are very focused on the Biodigital Convergence. Let's just steal their thumbnail. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna save the image into if I go into my file, I go into amos.nyamos. Maybe this is gonna give me some views. Like this is scary. Like I see this like deleted. They're not deleted. So old government posts, still accurate, maybe more accurate, maybe no. So I mean, I did like that thumbnail, so I'm a bit sad of changing it, but IO whatever stuff this is, like, this should be more red though. I feel like if you want to make it more scary, people might like that to be more red. So if I just open GIMP and I open Biodigital front page, and normally I wish I could just apply. So if I go onto the image and I go on to index it, and I can give it some specific palette of color, red and purple. Convert. What does it? Like, it doesn't look good. I don't like it. But it's just like increase maybe the contrast a little bit. Yeah. Already we're getting somewhere. Oh yeah. We're getting somewhere. And now we can go with color balance, color hue chroma. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I clicked on that twice, but I'm looking for the temperature because it's freaking hot in here. Like, we can go either on that way or like the cold freaking way. Like, oh, that looks cool. That looks scary. Oh yeah, so a mix between that and the blue one. I like that. So I'm gonna keep that. That one was looking good. Do we have people watching the stream? Not really, not yet. So I'm just gonna keep playing with the thumbnail. I should do this in advance, but I never know what I'm gonna talk about. Like, it's not like I planned this video. I'm not trying to push an agenda on you or whatever. I'm just like having fun. Okay, so just like that, and then you can push it this way, maybe. Oh, all of these looks good. I don't know which one's better. I give it just a little push in that direction, like this, and like I want it like blue, scary, poof, scary in the other direction. Oh, just yeah. I think I like this one. Like, just give it a little bit more push in this direction, maybe. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep this one and merge it with the one above, and we should be golden. Merge down, give it some degradation, noise detection, distort, give it some video degradation, and we are like wide stripe. And yep, maybe even a little vignette, let's be fancy. We have time, just like that. And this is it. This is how you create a thumbnail, folks. If you cared about that, export as something else. Like, let's give it a different name. Like, not overwrite the original one, because the original one was fine. Like, I didn't like the original one. But now we do have something that people might want to click on, and maybe they're afraid of clicking on it. Maybe they don't want to figure out what post the government deleted. Maybe that is too scary for people. Exploring old government posts. Maybe we could ask ChatGPT for a better title, or we can just steal the one from the government. Exploring Biodigital Convergence. And this is from the Canadian government. So Government of Canada. I'm just gonna click on this. Thank you very much. Going on the Government of Canada is not an actual website, and I thought that Canada was a real country. My bad. Let's inspect that, because I don't want to spell it. I just want to Canada.ca. Is that where it's coming from? Government of Canada. Let's take just the alt and use that. And here, yeah, that's like, this is how you create a good thumbnail. I think this is how you get a good thumbnail online. So let's go back to the previous post that we were on, if we can, and I wanted to figure out, is the disclaimer generated, or is the introduction generated? What are we looking for? Like, let's maybe take a look if this is AI generated. I know that AI detection tools do work, but are they like, can you trust them? Can you truly trust them? Like, this is the government we're talking about. They have probably like next gen AI that is undetectable. Paste as text, it doesn't work. Just paste it manually. Analyze text. Oh. Ouch. In 2023, OpenAI released ChatGPT. Some of it is. Some of that is. Oh, like, can I, like, do they do that often? Like, is there a lot of content on their site that is generated through the use of AI? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe let's find out. There is some AI stuff on the website of Government of Canada. oh, this is 100% written by humans. So we had somebody who took the time to write that. But when it comes to this one, this is in 2023, so they learned about ChatGPT. They started using it a bit, but not too much. They don't want their boss maybe to be aware of it. Like, let's just check if this is AI generated. It is small, but it's just analyze it. So 100% written by humans. That's good to know. But maybe it's all written by human. I'm not pointing fingers, But let's just take that whole stickity-doo and try to see if the AI detection tool is gonna tell us that there is some AI stuff in there. Ooh, there is, and some of it is paraphrased, but coming from AI probably. Like, it is 26% likely that it is AI generated. And if it's not, it just means that the people working for the government, they work like bots. They think like bots. They make stuff that an AI would do, and that is not good sign for their job. Like, if that's your job, like, this is 100% human written. So good on them for still writing stuff. If the AI detection tool is 100% accurate, which I don't know if it is, but let's just keep giving it stuff and see how much of this website is actually, like, can I just give it the URL and get 37% at this point. They got lazy. They started writing this, tried to write a lot of it manually, but then AI won. They decided, oh no, let's go with the AI stuff. It's simpler. 37% likely that it's AI generated. It is highly likely for a government site. Like, do I try that? Like, if I tried on this thing, it was humanly written apparently. But then we go back on this post about AI, and it's like, well, that's probably AI. So that's interesting. That's a good site. Go read that. That's interesting. Future Live, exploring change of social connection. It's a bit late for that, ain't it? But that's the reason. Oh, they have like this is where I get my cool picture for my site. You want to know where I get my cool images for my site? I steal them from the government. That's how I get my cool images. I just save that as an image into Amos Danamos, and that is it. View on web. What is that? What is forward exclusive summary real social surveillance? Oh yeah, that's what I want to read from a Canadian government website. Social surveillance. It's already not starting well. Like, I have nobody watching this. Come on. I'm the one who's gonna get killed for that. For exposing what is just available to everyone online on their own websites. I don't think so. Please don't. For area of change, sense making, whatever. Just read that thing, man. Technologies that watch and listen everywhere. Expectation that we could be under constant surveillance is becoming more common. No way. The government is telling us that we might be under constant surveillance? No. Like, we see these scary pictures everywhere of, like, they have facial recognition. Like, you use Facebook, they have already enough data to recognize your face. They have your name, they have your address, they have, like, your hobbies. They know more about you than your family does, and that is, like, not just Facebook, because Facebook sells that data. You already know about that. They tell it on the news, but you don't know what to do with that information. You get that information that all this is happening, but you don't. What am I supposed to do? Stop using Facebook? What am I gonna do? Start my own website and put my own, like, article and sound like a crazy dude online saying that we should probably defend the few remaining rights that we still have as individual humans in free societies. No, that would be crazy. Go back to Facebook. Like, I tried to convince my some family member recently to use Element as a communication platform. And it's not easy when people are used to using the same thing all over. They will find, redeeming quality. Stalker syndrome, from Facebook. Is it called stalker syndrome or stalker syndrome? Like, is it stalker? Adam Stalker's syndrome. So I think it's written like that because Google tell me so, and Google knows. Google is my hedge overlord, and he knows everything for me, so I don't need to know anything. And if he deletes information, it just means that this information never existed, and everybody that would mention this information is spreading misinformation. How about that? Information cannot vanish from Google. It is immortal, ethereal. I mean, in some sense, stuff stick around on the internet webs. It's hard to get rid of stuff for big corporation even. Forever and ever 3D printed magnetic liquid. That is cool. I mean, some of that stuff is not scary. Like, if I look at the more recent iteration of the website, other than their everything they do about genetics, like government and genetics, they're not like... I know that in some way they might try to regulate that kind of stuff and not just push it forward and say, yeah, this is the future, we need more of that. Not like Klaus Schwab has made some statement about that. Who is Klaus Schwab? That is for you to figure out. Just saying his name, that's why I don't have views on my video. Is this because the video is boring? I don't have a good thumbnail, not good title, not good editing? Maybe it's because I'm saying words that they don't want people to see video that's mention these names and words. Maybe. Just maybe. But that's just a theory. A game theory. What is biodigital convergence? Again! They just want you to know that. Like, hey, are you aware? Have you heard of the upcoming biodigital convergence? No? It's not on the news all day long? So we're gonna tell you about it. We know about it. It is not a concept that is coming from us. It's just, biodigital convergence. Everybody talks about that all the time. It's very common knowledge that as a species, we're going toward, as we grow older, we get these changes in our body, and we go toward, a state of biodigital convergence. It is emerging naturally, and you are now, as a species, humans, at that state, and you might see yourself going through some changes, and we might need to talk about them so that you are not surprised. You might have AI sprouting all over your planets. Don't be worried about that. It is just part of your development, and yeah. Good morning, Biodigital. They are expecting that, like the government of Canada, they can't wait. Bugs, but yes, that's what I want to hear. The bugs are listening to me. Bugs, but harnessing insect to spy on people. Like, that is not from a shady website. This is from the government of Canada, who wants to reassure you that they are not training in 2016 U.S. Navy granted scientists from Washington University a lot of money to find how to train insects and to not spying. Of course not. It's for detecting bombs. Of course. They have like LED lights, and the weak signals suggest the way that biodigital convergence again. It's back. Biodigital convergence is back again. I don't even know what that means. Tell me about it, Google. Tell me, explain that. Can we, get an explanation from an expert? ChatGPT is here with us today to explain us what is that. Let's just give us the biodigital convergence. Refers to the. Can you just go slower so I can read it? Biodigital convergence refers to the blending of biological and digital technology, resulting in new ways of interacting with and enhancing biological systems through digital means. Does that mean they are putting nanobots in our bodies? I'm not saying that. I'm just asking, because they're saying you have your biology and you have the technology. So where is the technology that we're talking about that is interacting with our body? I want to know, where is it coming from? Why are we at this, step in the human development? To the point where Government of Canada can shut up about it. They just need to tell you about it. Have you heard about it? Oh no, this looks like social credits. Demands for a culture shift. In Canada, as you know, we are this very peculiar country. And we have this biodigital convergence stuff coming up. And this is why we probably need to, since we see a surge of remote work, people are working from their home, blurring the lines between work and everything else. I'm just reading the bold lines. Office relationship are no longer the same, demanding for a culture shift. Is that the culture shift? That's just social credit? You're just stealing idea from China, just stealing concept from China. There, stealing idea memes. Just I need an image for that, like just like this is like China, Canada. Like it's just gonna show us China copying on Canada. I just want like the opposite. I want like Canada, China. I have them like holding hands, but what's going on there? Are we trying to recreate their social credit system? Is that what this is telling us? Like this is a very like again. Let's go put that into a scary filter. Like take the image. If I can I just get the image? Can I just get the image? I want just copy the image. Copy, and then I wanna paste the image. There is no image data. What am I copying then? Copy image. There it is. There it is. I can copy this here, and it just needs a little bit of a humph. Red, blue. Choose your team. It's gonna be red, scary red. Like it doesn't look as good as I would expect. Like it's just so blurry. It needs some sharpening, I think. Like this is, this is not looking good, but you get the point. You get the point. I don't have to need to white stripe. There it is. So this already looks a little bit more like saturation. Is that because we have too much saturation? Not enough saturation. That it doesn't look like. Do you want to live like this, like having this number above your head? What does that number mean, like concretely? Like why is the government like putting number over our heads? Oh yeah, that's where it gets scary, like the green stuff. Oh yes, and then let's give it some little bit more sharpening. Make that more popping, and that's too much. I went too far with this image. I'm just gonna admit it. So let's go back. Original image. Give it again some sharpening because it's so blurry. I mean, the government of Canada just changed your lens. Stop putting butter on your lenses, and already we get like this should have been the image at this point. I just improved it. No need to thank me, Government of Canada, for doing the work for you. Like this looks good. Overlay maybe? No, overlay doesn't look good. Like there's all these ways of merging both image together, but you get the point. You get the point. Do I really need to do that? Light only? Like light only is cool. It's a cool effect, but is that like people are all digital and stuff, doing their digital stuff. It looks almost like the Matrix, just. I don't know. This is just like the image they choose, and I believe like it's telling us something. Like they are telling us stuff with their image choice. Maybe like they don't put hints to what they're doing in the text because that would be too obvious. So, but when they pick the image, maybe they choose the future lives. Again, like this is all images I would probably use for my blog if I had to talk about some of that stuff. Like I don't have to look very far. They have like nice SVG. Like do please steal assets from the Government of Canada. It's not stealing. You pay these assets with your taxes if you're living in Canada, at least if you're a Canadian citizen. So yeah, we have like nice charts. Like there's nothing scary here. I want more picture like that. No, actually I prefer the other pictures. I do like dystopian looking like this. That's what I'm talking about. No, okay, and this is just like people in a lab. Nothing scary about that. What are they saying about like the guy? People are having fewer children and at a later age. New reproductive technology are making it more feasible for some individual, rich people. Let's face it, we are still talking about rich people. Today, giving birth until late in life. That's for everyone. But I think they're talking about like creating children out of a laboratory to have a baby later to blah blah blah. COVID-19 pandemic again. It changed the world. It's almost as if like it's so like imagine if all the changes it brought like make the government happy. Just how likely it is when all the outcomes of something is something that are in your favor. How likely it is that you're involved into making sure we get to that outcome. Like now we know if actually it comes from the from a laboratory, because this is a laboratory picture, and we do know that there was some shady stuff. It's not coming from a market, you know, that we know for sure. That is a cool image. I'm gonna make it scary once again. I like to make image of government website look scary. Doesn't require much. Like, do we remove the color, add color? I don't know. Let's add color. Again, just choose the temperature. Do we want something that is... Yeah, let's go with the red for this one. Like, the green is good, but we overused it in the other project. Let's go red. Like this. That's good. Okay, and we... saturation, like this color. Hue saturation. I love that tool. Let's go deep into the red part. Lightness. Do we want something clearer, darker? Maybe darker. Saturation. And then we might want to play with the contrast a little. Like file. Enhance. Like what I would do is use this this tool called water pixel. If I use that, no, it's too much. Too much. Not enough detail. Again. So if we enhance, for example, the enhance. You know when they say that in movies, like that's what they mean. They enhance the picture. So does it look better? Of course it does look better. Like that's my new thumbnail right now. I like, they do like generating thumbnail like this. And we cannot get away without using some video degradation. White stripe, baby. No vignette for this one. Let's give it like number X, because X is a number sometimes. And you ain't gonna tell me what is a number and what isn't a number. So again, this title, nobody was interested in that apparently, so we can just change the thumbnail again and try to get some people watching the stream. At some point people are gonna click in. Better title, better YouTube title than and it just give it like maybe Horizon Service Canada, that's CA. Articles, review, I don't know how to call this video, just give me a better YouTube title. More clickbait. Exploring Biological Convergence, the future of tech and biology. Make that sound more clickbait. After all, we want people watching the video. And scary. I mean, I do believe it is scary. All the implication behind some of the topics they talk, but that's not that worst. It's not the worst stuff I've seen here. Like honestly, all that I'm looking at right now is just a bland website that is not that interesting. But if I go into, for example, like type Scocial Credit, for example, social, they want that. You know, they were talking about it a lot. They removed that from their website. They were talking about it a lot. So they had article on it. Sense making future, blah blah blah. They don't necessarily have them there. So I'm just gonna look for horizons. GC. And I want specifically stuff about like social credits system. It was there. Disruption on the horizon. Could that be talking about social credit? Like this does not look like something interesting that I want to take the time to read, so I'm not. Like maybe if I specify like Chinese social, I know there was article on that. But this is not on the future of work. 5 game changer is one of them. Social credit. It's bringing me there. The task-based work and compensation rely heavily on reputation system. Okay, they changed the name. It's now a reputation system, so it's not the same thing that China's doing. You know, it's not the thing that is very Orwellian and bad. It's different. It's a reputation system. It has nothing to do with a social credit. The system credit system and the experimental credit granting system analyze vast amount of data I mean, when they're testing that stuff, I would like almost to be part of this, because I guess I would just get free money. So people like it. People want that. People say, yes, it was great. I was getting free money from the government. So they tell that to people. Then you get law that push that forward. And you realize that at a large scale, you cannot just give everybody money for doing nothing. I hope we could, but I guess we can't. I don't think everybody could be jobless. Just it's a U.S. minimum wage. Why? We're in Canada. Why is the U.S. earning less? Wait. Let's just read it. Platform and wages. 3.8 million tasks conducted on Amazon Mechanical Turk platform found a median hour wage on their platform around $2. That's not a lot. So what they're telling us basically is that people are underpaid, and that is like slavery, and that is good that they have concern about that, but what solution are we talking about? Reputation system, the system credit. What is system credit? Talk to me about the system credit. I was one of the first to talk about the Chinese social credit when it just started. I was talking about it to everyone. Nobody believed me, and they were like, it's in China, so we don't care. It's never gonna happen here. That looks Chinese. That looks like we are. Yep, Sesame Score. Oh, that's the Alibaba CEO. That guy is not honest. He's a shady individual. Do we really want him in charge of credit treatment at an hospital? Oh no, that is bad. When you put hospital and social credit together, you get bad. So yeah, did I update that? Did I not have like better title? Do I have better title now? The terrifying truth behind Biodigital Convergence. Are we ready? That I said Biodigital Convergence. What they aren't telling you. Biodigital Convergence, the government secret plan revealed. It's not secret. When you have a website dedicated to something, it's not secret. When the World Economic Forums has forums dedicated to the stuff they talk about in secret, it's not really in secret, is it? It is more in your face, and you can't do nothing about it. Biodigital Convergence, how tech will take over our bodies. Now that's not an exclamation mark, it is a question mark. How? I wonder, like, tell us more. Tell us more. I should probably change the thumbnail again, but I changed it so many times during that stream. How long is the stream? We've been live for a long time. Like, I think I'm gonna end this stream and I'm gonna let you do your own research. And that is a word that you heard around a lot, and that's what I've been doing. Not really, because I haven't took the time to read the article completely. Please take the time to read stuff, but I'm making a video, so just having me reading stuff out loud that I haven't studied in advance is not very entertaining, so I'm not gonna do that. But that's basically what it is. Like, I'm giving you a direction to look. I'm telling you, like, some articles have been removed, some are harder to find, but it is interesting. This website, at least, that's what I was talking about on my page, on my own website, and I think that's good. Biodigital Convergence, the government hidden agenda. Like, that's a better title. Why haven't they started with that? Like, that's gonna be the end title for this video, and like, people are gonna start watching this video and it's not immediately gonna be about that. So this is my live streams, this is how it works. Get comfortable with that. I lost a lot of subscriber recently because I stopped making video game content. Video game content is fun, but I don't think it's very productive. I prefer making software, because software is something that's gonna last. Even after the video, I'm still gonna have what I created, and I like to show to people stuff that I create. I like to make people aware of the workflow I developed, and I'm trying to advance society. I'm trying to advance the way people use computer, and I'm trying to just make myself the best system ever for when I try to do tasks. And the reason why I haven't completed my equivalent of the sed utility, that was because I have the line utility, but I have another one that is called the TED utility, which is going to be, a mix of awk and sed in its own way, and it's going to allow you to pick, like, you have the line utility to pick a row, and then you're going to have the TED utility to pick a column. That is basically what it's going to be. It's going to be the same as lines, but for columns. And you combine them, you combine these together, you use pipes to combine these together, these utilities, and you also use, for example, grep and other already existing GNU utility that are more usable, and you get a very efficient workflow. So I hope you enjoyed that video that nobody saw for some reason. Normally I get more views than that, but you know, it's been a while since I haven't posted a video, so maybe I should share that video on my website to give it some more visibility. But to be honest, I don't think my website itself is getting a lot of visibility. So have a good day, and if you're not in Canada, don't worry about that. Just look at what your own government is doing, maybe, instead of looking at what mine is doing. I know that when the government of Canada was censoring a lot of information, a lot of it was available in other country news. So I would learn more about my country by watching news from other country, and I think that is always the truth in these things. But it doesn't mean that information cannot be censored internationally, but it is way harder than just keep your people ignorant of what you're doing, especially when you have money, power, and control over these people. And yeah, this is why I think, like, you're not gonna elect somebody that's gonna fix the system. You just need to change the system, and don't wait for somebody you elect to do that, because they aren't gonna do that. They're never gonna change the system. The system is still the same, been the same since it was put in place in Canada. At least it's been a while since we have the same quote-unquote democratic system, and since we have this like capitalistic society leaning communist society. And people, like, I used to think that we had one of the country that was the better when it came to being in the middle ground. Like, we were the best at being in the middle. Like, we didn't do anything in the extreme. We did have corruption, but it was, you know, the kind of corruption you don't care about people taking your money, you know. In Canada, like, I think we didn't have to worry about our freedoms, because in government, when they were doing stuff against the people, it was more like stealing their money, and it was more like traditional crime, family stuff. But now it's no longer the Godfather. It's more like these big corporations taking control over us, making us the equivalent of slaves without the whip. You know, we are, you know, like I say, I have a video about the Matrix protocol, but I think a lot of what I say about that is still true as a society, not just as us using computers. I think this is one of the part, like, if you look at Idiocracy, if you look at Matrix, if you look, like, all these media, they reflect our society in some sense. And what is it trying to tell us? Like, George Orwell, his book 1984 is not that interesting. I don't think it is. I don't think it is a very good book. I think on itself, on its own, as a pure fictional book, it would have failed, because it is not that good. But it's not, people don't read it because it is that good of a story. They read it because it is such a good tale to warn us about the possible futures that might become true if we don't prevent them from happening. You know, it is, it has a name, like tale, warning tale, tales, and just, you know, Google again. I cannot think of stuff on my own, so I relate to Big Brother. I'm a cautionary tale. It is a cautionary tale, 1984, and nobody's gonna argue against that. But still, are we near what that tale was cautionarying us about? I don't think like Idiocracy wasn't supposed to be a cautionary tale, but I think we're nearing that. So what are we gonna do about that? I don't know. We don't have time to worry about that stuff because we have jobs. We have to work for a living, so we don't have time to worry about what the government's doing. And that's part of the problem. People are made to have less time, less free time, so that they don't have the time to worry about what is going on, what the people we put in charge are actually doing. And that's not a good idea to put somebody in charge. It's just a better idea to directly decide for yourself what you want. Now that we have the technology to do that, to vote directly on issues instead of on the big picture. So that's it for this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. You can like, subscribe, leave a comment, give this video a chance to be seen, you know. by interacting with it, by interacting with me, by talking about that stuff. Maybe I have some arguments in the comments. Maybe you disagree with a lot of stuff I've seen, shown, talked about. Some of the views I expressed, maybe you disagree with that. And instead of like being triggered and try to insult me, let's have a talk. Let's have a chat. Tell me why you disagree or why you agree. Maybe that can happen. That happens sometimes when I post stuff. It happens. People can agree with what I said. Have a good day. Again, I say this so often. You're gonna have such an amazing day.